Hi there, I'm Aman and you're watching PTO classes. So, in this video, we are going to study the second chapter of your English grammar, sentences, phrases, and clauses. So, I've divided this chapter in two parts in two videos. In the first video, that is this video, we were going to study sentences, and in the next video, we will study phrases and clauses. So, let's start our chapter. Let's start sentences. So you can see in the definition I have given here of sentences, group of words placed in a proper order which make complete sense are called sentences. So the group of words the group of words which are placed in a proper order. This word is very important. The groups of words which are placed in a proper order. So, in a proper sequence, the words are framed which make complete sense. So, the where where the words are meaning something, where the words are making some sense, are called sentences. And when we put the words here and there and which are not sequenced, which do not make complete sense, are not sentences. So what is the condition when we call the group of words a sentence? The conditions are: first, it has to be in a proper sequence, and second, it should make some sense, or it should make complete sense. See the example: eat apple every day, I n. So here there are a group of words: eat apple every day, I and n. So these words are framed and these are not in a proper order. So first condition is not there, the words are not properly arranged, and if these are not properly arranged, so it is obvious that these words are not making any sense. So see the next line: I eat an apple every day. So here the words are same but they are arranged in a proper order, and meanwhile they are making the complete sense. So we can call the second line, the second example, a sentence, whereas the first one are just mere words. So it is clear that what sentences are. So we are going to further study the kind of sentences, the kinds of sentences. You all must be aware with interrogative, exclamatory, all these sentences. We are not discussing the types of sentences, but we are discussing the kind of sentences. See the kinds of sentences. First, we have the compound sentence. Second, we have the complex sentence. And at last, we have the compound complex sentence. So, there are three kinds of sentences. Keep in mind, first is compound, second complex, third compound complex. So, you have to note down first the first definition, the definition of sentence in your fair notebook, in your grammar notebook. Then you have to write the kinds of sentences, and you will write the definition of these three kinds of sentences in your English grammar notebook. You can do this work either from your grammar book, or you can take the screenshots from this video, from the slides, and you can note down the definitions from my video. So let's go ahead, let's see what compound sentences are. Compound sentences are formed by using two independent clauses that are joined in two ways. So here, see what are compound sentences? Sentences which are formed by joining two independent clauses. Here you must be having the confusion that what is independent clause and what is clause in general. So We are going to see clauses and phrases in the next part of our lecture, next part of our chapter. But here I will tell you in brief that what is a clause and what is independent clause. So clause is a group of words which have their own subjects and verbs. So what is a clause? A clause is a group of words containing its own subject, the subject and its verb, but it doesn't make the complete sentence. So it is not a complete sentence, but it has its verb and it has its subject. So it is a clause. An independent clause is a clause that expresses a complete thought and can stand alone as a sentence. For example, we can see that Abhay went to play. So here we have a subject Abhay and play is the verb. So Abhay went to play is a independent clause, is an independent clause, but it is not a sentence because it is not making the complete sense. It is making some sense, it has verb and a subject, but it does not, it is incomplete. So we can ask, where does he go? Abhay went to play. Abhay went to play what? Abhay went to play where? So questions can arise. So it is not the complete sentence, but it is a clause and it is an independent clause. Whereas you can say that Abhay went to play after he had his lunch. So here we can divide the sentence in two parts. Abhay went to play, it is a complete, it is an independent clause, and after he had lunch, it also has a subject he and had the auxiliary verb, the supporting verb had. So he, after he had lunch, so it is also a clause, but it is not the independent clause because it doesn't have the, because it is dependent on the rest part of the sentence, that after he had lunch. So after what he had lunch, what he did after he had lunch, so we can ask. So it is dependent clause. So don't get confused, just keep it simple that compound sentences are formed by using two independent clause, and independent clauses are clauses which has a subject and a verb but doesn't make the complete sentence. They can be joined by two ways, either by a comma and a coordinating conjunctions. What are coordinating conjunctions? The words that are like and, because, but, or, not, far, so. So all these are coordinating conjunctions. Conjunctions I have already told you in parts of the speech. Conjunctions, what are conjunctions? Conjunctions are the joining words. Okay. So we join two independent clause and form a new sentence that is called the compound sentence, and we join it by using either by a comma or a coordinating conjunction. So see the example, Mr. Mehta walked fast. It is an independent clause because we have the subject Mr. Mehta and walked the verb. So but it is not complete sentence. Mr. Mehta walked fast. So where did he walk to and why he walked fast? So questions can arise. So it is not a complete sentence, but it is a clause and it is independent clause because it is not depending upon the other part of the sentence. See, Mr. Mehta walked fast. Here we have used the comma, then we have used the conjunction but. Mr. Mehta walked fast, comma, but he could not reach the office on time. So here we are joining two independent clauses. See, first Mr. Mehta walked fast, then he could not reach the office on time. So it is also a clause because it is not giving a proper conclusion to the sentence. So it is not a sentence, it is also a clause. But is the conjunction and comma is there, and the other clause is he could not reach the office on time. So here question can arise, why he didn't reach on time, when he didn't reach on time. So it is also a clause. Here we have the verb and the subject, but it is not making the complete sense. So two clauses are there, Mr. Mehta walked fast and he could not reach on time. He reached the office on time is the other clause, and it is joined by comma and but. So wherever you will see a sentence having a comma and this type of conjunctions, then it is always a compound sentence. So it is a compound sentence. You see why it is a compound sentence? Because two clauses, I will show you with the pen. Wait, where the pen is here. Okay. So here, see, see the independent clause first. Mr. Mehta walked fast. Sorry. Mr. Mehta walked fast. It is one clause, but he could not reach on time is the other clause. But and comma we have used to join the clauses, and he could not reach on time is the other clause. So see, Mr. Mehta walked fast, but he could not reach the office on time. So two clauses are joined by using comma and but. So it is a kind of a compound sentence. Second, see how we join the second example. I got a visa. It is it is an independent clause. We have a subject I and we have a verb got. The supporting verb got. I got a visa. So it is an independent clause. So here we have used comma, then we have used and. So we have used the comma and coordinating conjunction. Then we have the other clause, I'll go to Canada next week. So here it is not a complete sentence, but it is a clause. I is the subject, will go is the verb. So here it is two clauses we have joined together to form a new sentence, and this sentence is called compound sentence when one or more than when one clause is joined to the other clause by the help of comma or coordinating conjunction is called compound sentence. Second, how we can join the clauses, see, by a semicolon. We can also join the independent clauses by a semicolon. See, Ujjwal went to the bookshop, semicolon is there. Ujjwal went to the bookshop, then we have used semicolon, then he bought some books. He bought some books itself is an independent clause, and Ujjwal went to the bookshop. Went is the verb, Ujjwal is the subject, he is the subject, bought is the verb. So two independent clauses are there which are joined and therefore are making a compound sentence. So I think it is clear to you that what is compound sentence. If any queries are there, you can ask to me through WhatsApp or you can write the comment. So it is clear now. Now coming to complex sentence. Compound sentence, we have seen that when two independent clauses where we have subject and verb but doesn't make a complete sentence, when two independent clauses are joined. But what are complex sentences? Complex sentences have an independent clause, the subject and verb, the independent clause they have, and one or more dependent or subordinate clause. So they have an independent clause and one or more dependent or subordinate clause. Dependent clause are also known as subordinate clause. So see, the dependent clause is a kind of a clause which depends on other parts of the sentence to express a complete thought. For example, Shubham went to bed after he had his dinner. So Shubham went to bed is an independent clause because we have subject, we have verb, Shubham and went, and after he had his dinner, it is also a clause because here we have a subject he and had as a supporting verb. So after he had his dinner is also a clause, but it is not making complete sense and it is dependent upon the independent clause, that after he had his dinner, it is dependent upon the first part of the sentence, Shubham went to bed. So it is dependent upon the independent clause. So it is the dependent clause. So complex sentences have first an independent clause, then one or more dependent clause. See the example. When the children saw their teacher. So when the children saw their teacher, comma, they ran away. So you can see the example that when the children saw their teacher, they ran away. So it has the dependent clause, they ran away. So here we have the subject they and ran the verb. So they ran away. Who ran away? Why they? So it is the dependent clause because it is dependent upon the first part of the sentence, that is when the children saw their teacher. So it is an independent clause. It has the children, the subject, and saw the verb. So we have a subject and a verb. The children saw their teacher, and so it is an independent clause. And they ran away. We have put a comma and then we have written they ran away. So we have an independent clause and then we have a dependent clause. Dependent clause is depending upon the children. They ran away. It is depending upon the first part of the sentence because both are not making the complete sense. Both are not making the complete sentence, but they are having some sense. They have some sense, but they are not fully sentences. And the first part is independent. When the children saw their teacher, so we can see that what happened after they saw their teacher, they ran away. So they ran away is dependent upon the first part of the sentence. So one independent clause and one subordinate or dependent clause is joined together to form a sentence that is complex sentence. As a whole, it is a sentence. When the children saw their teacher, they ran away. As a whole, it is a sentence, and it is a complex sentence because one independent clause is joined with the dependent clause. Sorry. So you are clear what are compound and what are complex sentences? Now move ahead. We have compound complex sentences. See, compound complex sentences join two or more. So earlier we were having one independent clause. Now we have two. Either minimum we will have two or more independent clauses with one. Now we will have one or more dependent clause. See, when it thunders, it is completely making a sense. It is independent clause. When it thunders, when it is the subject and thunders is the verb. When it thunders, our doors and windows rattle. So it is the second. See the second independent clause. Our doors and windows rattle. So it is a independent clause. Our doors and windows rattle because it has a verb. It has a verb that rattle and subject doors and windows. So it is making a sense but not complete sense. So it is a independent clause. And the next part, and the whole house seems to shake. So and the whole house seems to shake. So when it thunders, our doors and windows rattle and the whole house seems to shake. So and the whole house seems to shake is the dependent clause because it is dependent upon the first two parts of the sentence. When it thunders and our doors and windows rattles, then the whole house seems to shake. And the whole house seems to shake. So it here we have used and the whole house seems to shake. So it is not clear that after what the whole house seems to shake. So it is the compound complex sentence. So in this video I have covered the compound sentences, complex sentences and compound complex sentences. I hope you are all clear with it. You can read it from the book also. You can see the examples from book also, and you will write the definitions in your fair notebook. Either you can write the definitions from the book or from the slides that I have given in the video. So you will note down it in the fair notebook, and afterwards you will do the exercises that I will tell you to do in the fair in the book. You will not do any exercise in your grammar notebook. You will do the exercise in your grammar book. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you have understood the first part of your chapter. In next part we will see what are phrases and what are clauses. So I think it is clear to you the first part of the chapter, and thank you so much for watching the video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any queries, feel free to ask. Thank you so much.